Chapter 11 This is Love. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Your Majesty, I've brought you 10 bottles of top-grade 5 elements pills. Tan Qingyan's announcement was a welcome surprise for Lu Changjing. Each bottle held 10 pills, meaning 100 in total, enough to last him quite a while. He reached out to hug Tan Qingyan, who had rushed over, planting a kiss on her delicate, flawless face. Thank you, Jun. This is exactly what I needed. Tan Qingyan was especially charming that day, her words like pearls, her voice soft and clear, almost too beautiful to bear. She had an innocent, cute, and mischievous air, with rosy cheeks. Though young, she was stunningly beautiful, stirring up excitement in anyone who saw her. Tan Qingyan giggled, snuggling into Lu Changjing's arms. If you like them, I'm happy. I don't know what you need these ordinary medicines for, but if you ever need anything else, just let me know. Okay, Lu Changjing said, nodding. He stashed away the 10 bottles of 5 elements pills, making sure Xuanhuan didn't see them. Noticing Lu Changjing's caution, a hint of suspicion flickered in Tan Qingyan's eyes, but she didn't press the issue. After a lingering, tender moment, Lu Changjing reluctantly bid Tan Qingyan farewell. Seeing her swollen lips, he couldn't resist a gentle reminder. Don't worry, Your Majesty, I have a special ointment, Tan Qingyan replied with a smile, licking her cherry lips and flashing her tongue. Lu Changjing's pulse quickened, and he almost swept her back into his arms. Fortunately, the memory of Xuanhuan's gloomy face surfaced in time, forcing him to resist the urge. After seeing Tan Qingyan off, Lu Changjing returned to reading the memorials until evening. When Xuanhuan finally returned, seeing his sour expression, Lu Changjing kept his mouth shut, not wanting to risk another beating. After dinner, before nightfall, Xuanhuan ushered Lu Changjing into the secluded secret chamber. After closing and locking the stone door, Lu Changjing began his practice with renewed enthusiasm. He started by running through the 5 elements fist dozens of times to digest the demon and beast meat from dinner, then finally reached for the 5 elements pill. His physique was now more than 20 times that of an average person, on par with a top-tier warrior, so he could handle the potency of the medicine. As soon as the 5 elements pill dissolved in his mouth, its surging power erupted. Through him, Lu Changjing didn't hesitate. He unleashed the 5 elements fist with all his might, absorbing the pill's energy. The rate at which his blood grew stronger was visible to the naked eye, far surpassing anything he'd experienced before. Special spices filled the air with fragrance, keeping Lu Changjing alert and focused, allowing him to train at his peak. He wished he could light them, as that would make the process even more effective. Luckily, the nearby dragon pond held spring water that was perpetually warm, and bathing in it nourished the body, restored the spirit, and enhanced his body. Refining. After training, Lu Changjing would soak in the water for over half an hour. Additionally, the training room was constructed from special ore, which simulated a gravity room, improving blood and energy flow and strengthening his body. With all these advantages combined, Lu Changjing's progress was remarkable, especially with the addition of the 5 elements pill. One day of training was equivalent to dozens for an average person. By midnight, his physique had improved noticeably, and his natural gifts had also increased. Lu Changjing estimated that his innate potential had risen from below average to about average, roughly on par with a regular warrior. The original owner had been born into a small family. His parents were comfortable, but didn't have great natural abilities. His father trained for decades, but only reached the external forging realm, mostly through sheer resources. The original owner had inherited his parents' ordinary talents, which was why he hadn't become a prodigy. Even so, Ning Zhongyu and Xuanhuan were afraid of him and wanted him eliminated. Soon after his physical fitness increased, Lu Changjing began to rest. He had to be up at dawn, so he couldn't delay too long. He had trained intensely that day. In the days that followed, Tan Qingyan didn't visit again. He wondered if she was simply busy or facing other problems. Lu Changjing, who had just tasted the sweetness of love, felt a little empty. Though their relationship was unconventional, it was the closest he'd ever been to a girl. They had made it to first and second base. Didn't that make them boyfriend and girlfriend? He would have to dedicate more time to his training and studies. Soon, fueled by the effects of high-level spirit beasts and the 5 elements pills, his outer skin was strengthened to perfection. When his energy and blood flowed through his body, his skin felt like iron, impervious to ordinary swords and knives. This was the apex of skin training. Next was muscle training, infusing his muscles with blood to improve their hardness and resilience. Once every muscle was fully developed and resistant to all ordinary weapons, he would have perfected muscle training. When practicing the 5 elements golden body technique, his blood flow created a faint brass-like sheen on his skin. This was the so-called 5 elements copper body, the first stage of the 5 elements golden body technique. Beyond the copper body lay the silver body stage, and finally, the supreme golden body stage. The 5 elements golden body art took its name from the highest level of mastery, the 5 elements golden body. At that level, it was said that not even legendary divine weapons could harm the practitioner. After consolidating his progress and restoring his spirit, Lu Changjing began his assault on the second level of external forging. Begin. Tiger thunder sound. As his boxing skills grew more refined, the tiger and leopard thunder sound technique sounded like actual beasts roaring inside him, drastically increasing his speed. His body trembled, his blood boiled, and the medicinal energy surged, all focused on breaking through the bottleneck. Crack. At a pivotal moment, the barrier separating him from the muscle training realm shattered and collapsed. The power of the 5 elements coursed through his blood, seeping into his muscles and hardening them at an incredible rate. The outline of 8-pack abs became visible. Once his training was complete, he would definitely have a 6-pack. Lu Changjing had tried countless times in his previous life to develop a 6-pack and attract women. He never succeeded. He never imagined that he would be reborn and finally achieve his goal. It was no small feat. Lu Changjing almost burst into tears, but then he realized he didn't need abs to attract women anymore. Chapter 12. Why are your lips broken? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qi and blood to level 3, then external forging to level 3. This stage is where you find intermediate warriors, levels 3 through 6, so, reaching the second level of external forging means Lu Changjing's now a level 5 warrior. The 5 elements pills, even the top shelf stuff, are working better than he thought. Just a few pills, and he's already jumped up a level. If he takes the rest, he'll at least hit the internal cultivation stage. Good thing Lu Changjing's built tough, able to handle powerful medicine. Otherwise, he wouldn't be improving this fast. Normally, after a breakthrough, you gotta consolidate, let it all settle in, but thanks to his solid build and constant growth, his foundation's rock solid, so it doesn't take him long to adjust. Lu Changjing also noticed his improved physique isn't just healing injuries, it's also strengthening his cultivation. Just think, when he first arrived, his blood vessels, dantian, everything was wrecked, making cultivation impossible. Yet, with the immortal demon body, as his physique gets stronger, even serious damage like that gets fixed easily. Usually, you'd need magical pills or elixirs to repair injuries like his, but the immortal demon body does it no problem, and his physique had only improved a little at the time. Speaking of which, a message popped into his head. As his physical strength grows, the immortal body's third characteristic is kicking in, deep roots. Just like it sounds, it makes Lu Changjing's foundation super strong, like a tree with roots dug in deep. It creates an amazing cultivation foundation. Even if his foundation gets wobbly from taking too much medicine, his improving physique will smooth it all out. This means Lu Changjing can soak up a ton of medicinal power without worrying too much, which will seriously boost his potential. Smiling, Lu Changjing popped another 5 elements pill and started practicing. A few days later, Tan Qingyun snuck in to see him again. With a soft groan, Lu Changjing released Tan Qingyun. Seeing her swollen lips, he grabbed some ointment and gently applied it. Your Majesty, haven't you mastered the art of concealing yang yet? Tan Qingyun nestled in his arms, feeling a little helpless, and noticing her underwear was a little damp. Thinking about the art of concealing yang, Lu Changjing said, didn't you say it takes 3 years? It's only been a few days. It's taking so long. I really want your Majesty to come to my palace right away, so we can have a prince sooner. Tan Qingyun's eyes sparkled with longing. She secretly hoped she could have a prince, preferably the first one. That might make her the empress. The position of head of the harem is still open. After all, even if she was a little naive, she understood the importance of that role. Seeing her look so eager, Lu Changjing felt helpless. You think I don't want that? But Chao Wenjing is watching me like a hawk, and Song Yangshu is causing trouble inside. Guess I'll be a monk for a while. After he said goodbye to a reluctant Tan Qingyun, Lu Changjing barely glanced at the memorials before hearing Xuanhuan's voice. He walked in, looking grim. Something had clearly ticked him off. He hasn't been easy to get along with lately. Whack. Even though Lu Changjing was reading the memorials, he got hit on the thigh with a blast of energy. I've been gone a while, and you've only read a few memorials. Are you slacking off again? Please forgive me, Lord Cao. These memorials are a little tough to understand, so I've been taking my time, Lu Changjing said, trying to keep his anger in check. Xuanhuan looked him over and frowned. What's with your lips? Did you bite them? Lu Changjing felt a chill. Had he left evidence of his time with consort Tan Qingyun? He thought he'd cleaned up, so how could Cao notice? Then it hit him. He nervously chuckled. Lord Cao, you're joking. I haven't left the Imperial study since you left. I haven't even seen anyone. How could someone have bitten my lips? I must have accidentally bitten them while reading. These memorials are a bit too difficult. I figured you wouldn't dare leave, Xuanhuan said, nodding, and dropping the subject. His people are watching the study. He knows if anyone went in, since no one came in. Lu Changjing probably bit his own lips. Like he said, after lecturing Lu Changjing on the memorials for a while, Xuanhuan left again. With rumors flying around that he's holding the emperor prisoner, he can't stay in the imperial study all the time. To silence the rumors, he also wants Lu Changjing to appear more, meeting the consorts and ministers who come to visit. Once Xuanhuan was gone, Lu Changjing ran to the mirror to see what was up with his lips. A close look revealed a tiny cut. Tan Qingyun probably bit him during their lovemaking, but it was so small he didn't even notice, and Xuanhuan spotted it. He's a 10th level pulse-forging master, after all. His senses must be crazy sharp. Guess he's gotta be more careful. Can't let him find out about Tan Qingyun. Really, it's his own fault for not having enough willpower. With his golden ticket, he should lay low for years, decades even. Once his physique is thousands of times stronger and he's got invulnerable defense, he can do whatever he wants, but he's lived 2 lives. His willpower's decent, but he's no match for the harem beauties. No wonder they say money can buy anything. But if he had to cut off Tan Qingyun completely, thinking of how sweet and refreshing it is when love comes, he can't do it. Even if their relationship is backwards, he's still faking being emperor. But does love care about that? Like people say, love doesn't care about age, height, nationality, or looks, and naturally, it doesn't care about jumping the gun or faking being emperor. After mulling this over, Lu Changjing went back to the memorials while practicing the 5 elements golden body technique, improving his cultivation. He hadn't been at it long when he heard a eunuch announce, "The Empress Dowager is here." Lu Changjing froze. Xuanhuan isn't here right now, and Hua Yanqiu's coming alone. Should he let her in? Chapter $13 Million Beauty. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a moment of hesitation, remembering Xuanhuan's warning and the fact that Hua Yanqiu hadn't known the real emperor, Lu Changjing decided to let her in. Send her in. Hua Yanqiu entered, followed by 2 palace maids. Lu Changjing's eyes widened at the sight of her. She wore a crimson-purple palace dress with a plum blossom pattern, looking elegant and regal. A purple silk underdress, embroidered with delicate jade flowers and gold thread from hem to waist, added to her allure. Over it, she wore a gold silk cloak embroidered with phoenixes, its cuffs and collar trimmed with blue silk. Ornate jade hairpins, inlaid with pearls and silver, swayed as she walked. A simple belt accentuated her figure. Her hair, styled in a silken bun, was adorned with a purple-gold phoenix pearl crown and a blue and white glass bead-inlaid gold bracelet, hinting at hidden charm. Her eyes sparkled, her rouged cheeks glowed, and her lips were painted with a light red tint. Decorative petals framed her face. A chrysanthemum-patterned enamel hairpin added a touch of elegance. Gold and ruby earrings and rings with pigeon blood rubies completed her look. Lu Changjing found himself captivated. Rumor had it that the late emperor had married several of his predecessors' concubines. If Lu Changjing ever got strong enough to replace Ning Zhongyu, he wondered if he could marry the captivating Empress Dowager. Knock it off. He thought. Even his life wasn't his own yet, and he was getting ahead of himself. Old habits die hard. Your Majesty, can you guess how many women have signed up since word got out about the talent show? Hua Yanqiu smiled sweetly, clearly in high spirits. Lu Changjing paused. Tens of thousands, maybe. Hee, Your Majesty underestimates your appeal. Hua Yanqiu covered her mouth, chuckling. Not just tens of thousands, but 1,000,000 beauties are vying for a spot, the most in the great Ning dynasty in a century. Lu Changjing was stunned. 1,000,000, that wasn't Ning Zhongyu practically a monk? How could he be so appealing? Were they not afraid of becoming widows like the previous emperor's concubines? I didn't expect so many. Looks like the emperor is more charming than even you know. Hua Yanqiu smiled. But this is for the best. We'll select a group of top-notch consorts for the emperor and expand the royal family. What could Lu Changjing say? He had to play along. In 3 years, barring any disasters, his physique would be over 1,000 times stronger than normal. Combined with martial arts, that number could increase by hundreds more, if not more. Then, he would be unstoppable and could finally replace Ning Zhongyu. After discussing the selection process and Lu Changjing's preferences for showgirls, Hua Yanqiu left the imperial study. After she was gone, Lu Changjing couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. He had told Hua Yanqiu that he liked good-looking girls with great figures, pure, charming, dignified, elegant. He wasn't picky. After the romantic wasteland of his previous life, where he couldn't even land a slightly overweight girl, his standards had plummeted. It was a sad story, a result of the overabundance of men and scarce women in his past life. Otherwise, his requirements wouldn't be so low. Still, any woman who made it through the preliminary rounds would be at least a 96 out of 100, and none would have a bad figure. So, he'd raised his standards, but it was basically the same. No wonder Hua Yanqiu looked at him strangely. She probably thought the emperor was too easily pleased. According to her, any woman qualified to participate in the selection would have been at least a 90 in his past life, and not the 90 achieved through makeup and plastic surgery, but a natural beauty. Moreover, thanks to natural treasures and martial arts, these women possessed an appearance, temperament, and skin that surpassed even the top celebrities back on Earth. By Earth's scoring system, many would be beauties with over 100 points, some even breaking 1,000. Examples: Rong Xiao, Tang Qingyi, Lin Yisan. They would have been 1,000-point beauties. Oh, right, the scale was 100 points, not 1,000. Otherwise, with his experience of watching short-form videos, he wouldn't be so easily flustered. Put simply, even the heavily filtered beauties in those videos couldn't compare to Rong Xiao, Tang Qingyi, Lin Yisan, or Tan Qingyun. Even without makeup, Hua Yanqiu had been gone for a while, and Lu Changjing was still a little hyped. After all, he thought these beauties were being chosen for him. Xuanhuan could suck it. Ning Zhongyu was as good as dead. What's got you so cheerful? Still thinking about the 1,000,000 beauties? Xuanhuan had crept up on him. Lu Changjing felt a chill. Master Cao, you're joking. I was just pleased because I understood the meaning of a few memorials. Thanks for explaining them. Good, Xuanhuan said, his face softening. If you don't understand something, ask immediately. We can't afford mistakes when the time comes. Lu Changjing nodded. Understood. He worked until evening before retreating to his secret room to rest. After sealing the stone door, he began his usual training. Thinking about the day's events, Lu Changjing couldn't help but smile wryly. Today had been truly amazing, more exciting than any day in his past life. He swallowed a 5-element pill, and its effects soon kicked in. Lu Changjing pushed everything else out of his mind and focused on his training, losing all track of time. Once the first pill was digested, he immediately took a second. He hadn't dared to do this before, but with the awakening of the third characteristic of his immortal demon body, Lu Changjing had grown much bolder. While he trained, the selection process was in full swing throughout the Daning dynasty. Not just the Empress Dowager, Hua Yanqiu, even the imperial noble consort Rong Xiao, the noble consort Tang Qingyi, and the Duan consort Lin Yisan were involved, serving as some of the final judges. Chapter 14. Ask Your Majesty to send troops. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing that Rong Xiao, Tang Qingyi, Lin Yisan, and the others were on that talent show, Lu Changjing was in shock for a while. He thought, in his old life, if a wife found out her husband was looking for a mistress on a reality show, she'd not only flip out, but she'd probably tear him and the mistress to shreds. But in this world, the concubines were practically begging to help him pick out new ones. Turns out, the ancient world had its perks. If women back then had been this understanding, there wouldn't have been so much drama. Of course, it would have been a lot harder for him to find a wife, unless he was loaded. Ignoring the chaos outside, Lu Changjing focused on his training, thanks to a bunch of boosters, top-shelf 5 elements pills, the 5 elements golden body secrets. His cultivation was skyrocketing in his private room, especially now that he'd unlocked the deep roots trait. He could pop 5 elements pills like candy. Sure, it might mess with his foundation, but as long as his physical stats went up at midnight, he could stabilize things. As long as he didn't screw up the foundation too badly, his body strengthening and deep roots traits would patch him right up. This made him level up way faster than anyone else. In just a few days, he downed dozens of 5 elements pills, rocketing his cultivation to the peak of the 2nd level of external forging. Ready to hit the 3rd, every muscle was ripped and tight, no fat anywhere. He had a 6-pack that could cut glass. Even if he wasn't much to look at before, those abs alone would have landed him a girlfriend. He could move nearly 1,800 pounds just by twitching a finger, way more than your average 5th level warrior. The 1st level of external forging works the skin, the 2nd works the muscles. With his muscles maxed out, it was time to work on his tendons. It had been almost a month since Lu Changjing woke up in this world. His immortal demon body had already given him a boost of about 30 points to his physical fitness, add in the gains from the 5 elements golden body technique, and he was about 40 times stronger than an average person, getting closer to that master level. With that kind of strength, he didn't have to sweat the bottlenecks. Other warriors had to carefully control their energy flow when breaking through, otherwise they might burst a blood vessel instead of breaking the barrier. Lu Changjing didn't have that problem. He could unleash dozens of times the energy of warriors his level, and just hammer through the bottleneck. Plus, as his physique got better, his natural talent and qualifications got a bump, which weakened the bottleneck too. So, when he started breaking through, the barrier cracked in no time. Crack. Pretty soon, the cracks turned into rubble, and his surging blood and energy started flowing into his tendons, making them stronger and more flexible. 3rd level of external forging, tendon training, achieved. The 5 elements of blood and energy were working their magic, turning stiff tendons into flexible springs, strong and flexible. In just a few minutes, Lu Changjing was basically a yoga master. Splits, high kicks, side splits, all child's play. He could probably pull off Olympic-level gymnastics moves. His whole body was getting a boost, especially his tendons. Lu Changjing's tendons were already super tough, and now, with the blood and energy boost, they were like a tiger with jetpacks, leaving other warriors in the dust. 40 times the strength of other warriors his level meant that Lu Changjing had a crazy strong foundation. Even though he was just starting out, he was already catching up to the veterans. After easily doing a few splits, Lu Changjing nodded, satisfied. With that kind of flexibility, things were going to get a lot more interesting in the bedroom. Even if his concubines weren't flexible, he could help them out. Pa. Just thinking about it, Lu Changjing slapped himself. He was supposed to be training, and he was thinking about all this nonsense. Was he trying to lose his mind? But with his physique, even if he did go nuts, it probably wouldn't hurt him, and he'd be back to normal by morning. Nothing to do but keep consolidating and getting used to the changes. Even though he was supposed to take it slow to build a solid foundation after breaking through, Lu Changjing tossed that advice out the window and popped another 5 elements pill. His cultivation shot up again. After midnight, the stat boost helped him solidify his foundation, hiding, body strengthening, deep roots. Every trait of the immortal demon body was like a cheat code. Feeling the rock-solid foundation, Lu Changjing nodded and called it a day. After a soak in the Millennium Jade Spring, he went to sleep. The next day, he was reading some reports after Xuanhuan had left when he heard a commotion outside. Your Majesty, I have something important to report. Open the door. Lu Changjing was surprised. Hadn't Xuanhuan ordered the ministers to be kept away from the imperial study? Since he'd arrived, he hadn't even seen any of the Daning dynasty's officials. What was going on? Was Xuanhuan letting someone through to test him? But if that was the case, why wasn't Xuanhuan sticking around to watch? Well, whatever. He'd just keep practicing and reading, but he ignored the guy outside, who kept yelling. Your Majesty, the Daning dynasty can't back down any further. Order the war. 30 years ago, we ceded Jinyang County to the Xuanhuan tribe. 20 years ago, we ceded Yuanshan County to the Xuanhuan tribe. 10 years ago, we even sent Princess Chongping to the Xuanhuan tribe as a bride. Now the Xuanhuan tribe is stirring up trouble again, and they're getting bolder every time. This time, they want the whole Yunlai prefecture. Daning can't retreat anymore, or there won't be any peace. The guy outside was getting louder and more worked up, and the noise was carrying for miles. Everything went quiet except for this guy's rant, and Lu Changjing started to get annoyed. Even though the guy was going after Ning Zhongyu, he was playing Ning Zhongyu now, and it didn't feel good to be insulted like that. He figured out who was out there. He was just a 4th-rank counselor, but even Xuanhuan, a 1st-rank official, couldn't deal with him. Chapter 15, Marriage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Daning dynasty's government was structured around 3 high officials, the Prime Minister, the General, and the Inspector. These officials oversaw the 6 ministries: personnel, revenue, rights, war, punishment, and works, a system similar to what I knew from before. The inspector's main job was to keep an eye on all the other officials and even the emperor, but one person couldn't handle all that, so the inspector also headed a small agency called the Supervisory Department. It only had a few hundred people, but it caused headaches for everyone, including the Daning emperors. The Supervisory Department was staffed by 2 types of officials, the Remonstrance Doctor and the Imperial Censor. The Remonstrance Doctor's job was to supervise the emperor, pointing out his mistakes. The Imperial Censor supervised everyone else, flagging their errors. If the officials ignored the censor, they could appeal to the emperor. The one raising a ruckus outside right now was Wei Shangang, a Remonstrance Doctor under the inspector. He was also the most stubborn of the Remonstrance Doctors. While the rest of the court was fine with befriending the Xuanhuan tribe, Wei Shangang was constantly complaining about their past invasions, demanding they be punished severely. He also kept bringing up other issues that Ning Zhongyu wanted to ignore, showing no mercy to the emperor and frequently embarrassing him. If Wei Shangang wasn't so loyal, such a talented cultivator, and already a mid-level master at 35, he would have been dealt with long ago. Xuanhuan considered him a thorn in the court side, and specifically ordered the eunuchs and guards to keep him away from Lu Changjing while he was in seclusion, but somehow, Wei Shangang had gotten past all the checkpoints and was now outside the imperial study, loudly lecturing about the Xuanhuan. It was early spring, and the Xuanhuan tribe was running low on food, so they were likely to raid the Great Ning dynasty for supplies. This kind of thing was common. Even with Princess Chongping married into the tribe, these raids couldn't be completely stopped. Ning Zhongyu's attitude was that as long as there wasn't a full-blown war, a little loss was acceptable. Xuanhuan had warned Lu Changjing about this, telling him to ignore it. Lu Changjing disagreed, feeling that Ning Zhongyu was only doing this to avoid disrupting his training. Ever since taking the throne, Ning Zhongyu had always tried to settle things peacefully, avoiding war whenever possible, even if it meant sacrificing the dynasty's interests. His priority was always his training. Everything else was secondary. He became emperor to gain access to more resources for his cultivation. The court and the public thought he was being patient, waiting for the day he reached godhood so he could destroy all demons, but Lu Changjing saw it as pure selfishness. Everyone, from the court officials to the royal family, and even the entire Daning dynasty, was just a tool for his personal advancement. Even if it was about patience, the Xuanhuan were far weaker than the Daning dynasty. Why show restraint? Wasn't it just inviting exploitation? Ultimately, he was afraid of delaying his training, because war with the Xuanhuan would take up too much time and energy, preventing him from focusing on his cultivation. It was said that Ning Zhongyu himself proposed the marriage to the Xuanhuan, and Princess Chongping was his biological sister. The marriage helped him quell a Xuanhuan rebellion and solidified his position as crown prince, paving the way for him to become emperor. His cruelty towards his own sister showed what kind of person he really was, but through the court's propaganda, Ning Zhongyu was portrayed as a persevering and forgiving emperor, so popular that any royal draft would attract millions of girls to sign up. They didn't know that hidden beneath the glamorous surface was a cold-blooded executioner. Over the years, Ning Zhongyu's policy of appeasement had cost the great Ning dynasty countless resources and lives, an astronomical figure. Even though he disliked Ning Zhongyu's actions, he was just a substitute and couldn't do anything about it. He would just have to listen to Wei Shanang's ranting outside. After more than half an hour, Xuanhuan, having heard the commotion, finally arrived and dragged Wei Shangang away. Before leaving, he warned Lu Changjing not to make any big decisions without authorization. Otherwise, if things went south or if anyone noticed anything unusual, he'd have to pay with his head. Lu Changjing had no choice but to agree. After Xuanhuan left, Lu Changjing resumed reading the memorials, feeling rather down. Your Majesty, I'm here. Fortunately, his beloved Tan Qingyun arrived to cheer him up. Her eyes sparkled as she smiled. She wore a golden hairpin with dangling tassels that caught the light. Dressed in a green feather gauze, her skin was as white as snow, and she smelled faintly of orchids. As soon as she saw Lu Changjing, she threw herself into his arms and buried her head in his chest. Your Majesty, don't pay any attention to Wei Zhangang. He's always like that, utterly ruthless. Everyone hates him. So she was here to comfort him. Lu Changjing hugged her soft and fragrant body. I know. I won't let it bother me. Okay, Tan Qingyun nodded and moved her pink lips closer. Half an hour later, Lu Changjing held Tan Qingyun and asked, Qingyun, do you know how my older sister, the princess, is doing with the mountain barbarians? This. Tan Qingyun bit her lip, unsure what to say. Lu Changjing gave her a playful pinch. Tell me. I didn't want to know before, but I can't keep my head buried in the sand. Sister Wan isn't living well with the Shan man, Tan Qingyun said cautiously. The Shan man have barbaric customs and like to eat raw meat and blood. Even the mountain kings Khatan and Yenchur have to eat it. Sister Wan must hate it. And, it said that after the old Xuanhuan died, the young Xuanhuan inherited all his wives and concubines, including Sister Wan. Only barbarians do such things. The implication was clear. Ning Yuan, raised in a civilized land, couldn't accept such a violation of human decency. She must be living a miserable life with the Shan man. Lu Changjing fell silent, gaining a deeper understanding of Ning Zhongyu's cruelty. If he could treat his own sister like this, what hope did a mere substitute like himself have? Lu Changjing no longer harbored any illusions that Ning Zhongyu and Xuanhuan would let him go, whether it was for the concubines in the harem or for the vast territory of the great Ning dynasty. He would fight to the death. Chapter 16 Concubine Duan's Suspicion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back then, Your Majesty was in a bind, so he proposed the marriage. Noticing something was up, Tan Qingyun reassured him. The kingdom was a mess, crumbling from the inside out, and totally unprepared for the mountain barbarian invasion. If you hadn't suggested the marriage, the whole place might have fallen apart. Besides, nobody could have predicted the old mountain king kicking the bucket so soon. That was a total curveball. Lu Changjing knew Tan Qingyun was trying to make him feel better, but Ning Zhongyu's actions were still a low blow. Hugging her tight, Lu Changjing sighed, don't worry, things will get better. When my powers are fully online, those who messed with me are gonna pay. Images of Xuanhuan and Ning Zhongyu flashed in his mind. But Tan Qingyun was thinking bigger, mountain barbarians, Song State, Zhao State. She couldn't help but admire His Majesty's far-reaching goals. After their private chat, Tan Qingyun prepared to leave, clinging to Lu Changjing's neck. She hated to go. Your Majesty, when I went back last time, I ran into concubine Duan. She seemed suspicious and has been getting the palace maids to snoop around about what I've been up to. I probably won't be able to visit as often from now on. Please understand, Your Majesty. Concubine Duan didn't see you coming here, did she? Lu Changjing frowned. Tan Qingyun shook her head. No, I bumped into her in the Imperial Garden, which is pretty far from the Imperial study. Good. If concubine Duan knew about us, she'd definitely throw a fit, knowing her. Lu Changjing breathed a sigh of relief. Tan Qingyun smiled slyly. I still want some alone time with you, Your Majesty, just in case any of the other concubines are watching. Pinching her cheek, Lu Changjing escorted her out of the imperial study. Watching her disappear, quick as a cat, Lu Changjing reluctantly went back to his desk. He'd just gotten a taste of young love, and she was so beautiful. He wanted to spend every second with her. Knowing Tan Qingyan's visits would be less frequent, Lu Changjing was definitely bummed, but he could use the time to train. Besides mastering his current cultivation level, the Royal Extreme Dragon Step was nearly perfected and needed serious practice. While practicing these Royal Extreme techniques, Lu Changjing finally understood why they had to be based on the Royal Extreme Body Strengthening exercise. These techniques were incredibly powerful, but they completely ignored the intense pressure and damage they inflicted on the body. Without the Royal Extreme Body Strengthening exercise's strong recovery abilities, it wouldn't take long for his body to break down. For example, the Royal Extreme Dragon Step put immense pressure on his feet and legs, with other body parts taking a beating as well, and the Imperial Sword technique? The pressure on his wrists and arms was insane, 10 or 100 times greater than with normal swordsmanship. His upper body and legs also suffered. Other techniques like the Imperial Shocking Secrets, Imperial Dragon Soul Sutra, and Imperial Four Tribulations each targeted specific body parts, crushing and damaging them. Imperial Extreme meant extreme power. These skills offered extreme combat power and improvement speed, far beyond anything else, but there was a price: your own body, even your lifespan. Only the extreme defense, recovery, and endurance of the Imperial body forging skill could withstand that pressure. Even so, thousands of years ago, the Ning royal family still had to master the Imperial body forging skill before daring to try the other techniques. If Lu Changjing hadn't practiced the 5 elements golden body art and gained the strengthening and recovery benefits of the immortal demon body, he wouldn't have dared to try the Imperial Dragon Step. Honestly, the Imperial Divine Art system wasn't too hard to understand or practice. The problem was the damage it inflicted. Lu Changjing's talent was limited, and he had to spend a lot of time improving his cultivation. Besides the 5 elements golden body art, only the Imperial Dragon Step was close to completion. Swoosh! A few days later, Lu Changjing moved his feet, like a dragon swimming through the air, easily leaping dozens of yards. His movements were elegant, agile, and silent, just getting started, and it was already more powerful than most fully mastered body skills. Truly a top-tier divine skill, but feeling the slight soreness in his right foot and leg, Lu Changjing was surprised by the backlash of the Imperial Dragon Step. His physical fitness was 50 times better than an average person's, and he could still feel the pressure. An ordinary 6th-level warrior would probably break their legs trying this move. No wonder even the Ning royal family had to reach a very high level in the Huangji Divine Art system first. As for today, the requirements are even stricter. Ning Zhongyu also practiced the 5 elements golden body art for many years before he began to practice the Huangji Wandering Dragon Step, Huangji Sword Technique, and Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra. With the introduction of the Huangji Wandering Dragon Step, Lu Changjing's ability to save his life increased greatly, and he could then practice step by step until the day of perfection. However, according to Lu Changjing's speculation, without a physical fitness that is 100 times better than that of an ordinary person and an extremely strong recovery ability, it is difficult to even achieve a small success, let alone the later great success and perfection. The road is long and arduous, and I will search up and down. After Huangji Yulongbu entered the door, he planned to practice Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra to the 1st level first, so that he could better sense the surrounding movements. With the perception ability brought by the strong physique, he could find Chao Wenjing's trace earlier, and he would not be approached silently in the future. After these days of comprehension and practice, Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra is very close to the 1st level. This spiritual training method is also very powerful. The Huangji spiritual power cultivated is very sharp, both in terms of lethality and detection power, but the corresponding oppression on the spiritual sea is also terrible. If you don't pay attention, you may hurt the spiritual sea. As everyone knows, once the spiritual sea is damaged, it is difficult to repair it. So the royal family of Daning in the past usually started to practice Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra after practicing the master's body, but Lu Changjing has an immortal demon body, so he can practice Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra in advance. Even with Lu Changjing's current physical condition, he would feel tired after practicing the Imperial Dragon Step for more than an hour every day. and could only switch to the 5 Elements Golden Body Art or the Imperial Dragon Soul Sutra, he did not give up the Imperial Sword technique either, and would soon be able to cultivate to the first level. However, before that, the 5 Elements Golden Body Art was practiced at a faster speed. And it seemed that it was already close to the realm of internal cultivation. Chapter 17, Rampage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since waking up in this body, Lu Changjing's been getting a little stronger every single day. We're talking about his physique, right? An average dude is at a 1. After 46 days, this immortal demon body thing has already jacked him up to 46. This physique boost. It's a full body upgrade. Skin, muscles, bones, guts, everything steadily improving. It doesn't directly level up his cultivation, but it gives Lu Changjing a seriously solid foundation, even without martial arts training or any fancy blood-boosting techniques to become a warrior. His raw strength is insane. He's strong enough to rip apart high-level demons, and they probably couldn't even scratch him. The physique surge also boosts his strength, speed, reflexes, and senses. They're not growing as fast as the physique, only about 1/10 as much, but still, most importantly, this physique thing seems to be unlocking his potential. It's only a tiny amount each day, but after this long, it's way beyond what normal warriors get. He's probably a 1 in 100 kinda guy now. Calling him a little genius ain't an exaggeration, plus, he's got unlimited access to those 5 Elements pills and all the gear in the training room. Even if Lu Changjing wanted to improve slowly, it'd be impossible. Sure, this rapid progress sometimes leads to an unstable foundation or messed up blood vessels, but all he has to do is wait until midnight. When his physical fitness improves again, all of those injuries just disappear. That's an advantage all right, and Lu Changjing has been using it to push himself harder and harder in practice. His training routine would make regular warriors' jaws drop. They'd be like, is this guy trying to die? But while other warriors carefully nurture every muscle with qi and blood, terrified of hurting themselves, Lu Changjing just unleashes massive amounts of power, hammering those muscles until they scream. He even goes after the damaged ones. Asterisk clang. Clang. Clang, ***bang. Bang. Bang, ***thump. Thump. Thump, He's working his way up from little hammers to big hammers to freakin' sledgehammers, muscles trembling the whole time. But damn, the results are amazing. 1 day of his training is equal to weeks, maybe even months, for a regular warrior. In just 2 weeks, Lu Changjing had maxed out his muscle training and was ready to move on to internal conditioning. First 3 levels are all about qi and blood. Then comes the external body. Finally, the 3 levels of internal training: organs, marrow, blood. These are the stages of high-level warriors, levels 7 through 9. They're considered top dogs, first-class masters everyone respects. He directed all of his qi and blood power straight at the bottleneck, not giving a damn if he damaged his organs. Other warriors approaching this stage would proceed with extreme caution, afraid of hurting themselves. Worst case, they'll fail the breakthrough, or they'll get seriously messed up. Lu Changjing, though, his internal organs are already beastly. Even without qi and blood reinforcement, they're stronger than the internal organs of most warriors with reinforcement. Those fancy 5 Elements techniques aren't gonna hurt him that easily. Thump. Thump. Thump, the qi and blood bombardment began. Other warriors tap cautiously at this stage, but Lu Changjing was swinging for the fences, like he was taking down a fortress. His organs? Who cares? With this kind of brute force, the barrier to the inner realm started to crumble, cracks appearing everywhere. Boom, in no time, the bottleneck shattered, and a tidal wave of qi and blood flooded his organs, but they were too tough. The qi and blood couldn't do anything. Lu Changjing immediately used the 5 Elements fist to guide the energy into his organs, reinforcing and upgrading them. His freakish physique multiplied the power of that energy, making it several times, if not dozens of times, stronger than what other warriors use. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be enough to strengthen his whole body. With each upgrade, his organs became stronger, his physical stamina increased, and his breathing deepened, walking like a racehorse, leaping like a bird. that's the kind of stuff he could do. Internal training level 1. A 7th level warrior. He could leave the palace right now and live like royalty. With his strength alone, each move he made carried over 2,500 pounds of force. It's beyond imagination. Even in his previous life, if he combined that with combat skills and special techniques, each strike could unleash thousands of pounds of destructive power, or even more. In his old martial arts novels, even the top masters only had 2,000 pounds of force per move, and they had to use martial arts to do it. Lu Changjing could casually throw out a punch with over 2,000 pounds of force, no technique needed. He could crush those masters with martial arts. Forget about it. In other words, this 7th level warrior Lu Changjing had already blown past those masters. He could take on the whole martial arts world by himself, and yet, he's just a high-level warrior, not even a top-level one. This world's martial arts system is way more advanced than his old novels. And there's still the pulse-casting master level. Above that, you get gods and demons. Feeling the power surging through his body, Lu Changjing nodded, satisfied. That immortal demonic body gives him nearly 50 times the physique, defense, and endurance of a normal person. It also means he'll probably live over 200 years. Martial arts have boosted his physique and defense more than tenfold on top of that, so he's probably around 60 times tougher than a regular Joe right now, only 40 more times to go before he's got a grandmaster's body. At this rate, he'll probably hit that mark in about a month. And with that kind of physique, he'll be breaking through to the 10th level of the 5 elements golden body technique pretty soon. After letting his body adjust, it was time to get up. Xuanhuan had been waiting outside for a while. When he saw Lu Changjing walk out, fresh from washing up, a strong wind rushed through the air, ****, even though he barely felt anything, Lu Changjing pretended to be hurt. Something wrong, Mr. Cao? Did some politician tick you off again? Chapter 18, Seeking the Skin of a Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Those court officials, both civil and military, are annoying, sure, but they're nothing compared to the Demon Suppression Division. Damn Demon Suppression Division. Damn Demon Suppressors. Damn Demon Slayers. If demons and ghosts were so easy to kill, the old Great Ming Dynasty wouldn't have collapsed. Why can't we all just get along? Why stir up so much trouble? Xuanhuan was fuming, cursing like a sailor, not exactly the picture of a Jinui commander or a chief eunuch. He clearly had a major beef with the Demon Suppression Division, based on his rant, and what Lu Changjing already knew. He was starting to piece things together. The Demon Suppression Division wasn't just another government agency, it was a pan-national organization, backed by various Shenzhou countries and martial artists, with branches all over the place. Their main job was to keep the demon and ghost population in check, preventing them from wreaking havoc. It was a pretty loose setup. If you were human and passed the screening, you were pretty much in. Even regular folks, not yet warriors, could join and take on tasks related to demon slaying, earning rewards for each completed mission. Within the division, demon suppressors were ranked as iron, bronze, silver, and gold. This ranking was purely based on how many demons and monsters they'd taken down. It didn't affect anything else. No matter how powerful a warrior you were, joining the Demon Suppression Division meant starting as an iron-level suppressor and working your way up by racking up kills. The higher your rank, the better the perks, richer rewards, access to rare treasures, even magical pills, potions, and skills. That's why a lot of warriors signed up, for the rewards, or just for a chance to make a living fighting demons and monsters. The Demon Suppression Division did a solid job of keeping the demon and monster population in check across various countries, including the Great Ming Dynasty. However, Ning Zhongyu, Xuanhuan, and others weren't exactly fans. Their reasoning was simple: all they wanted was a peaceful dynasty, free from drama. More importantly, they didn't want anything interfering with their own cultivation, so they preferred to live and let live with the demons and ghosts. Why risk getting killed in a fight with them? Why waste precious practice time? After all, the fall of the previous Daning dynasty was blamed on the ancestors' insistence on wiping out all demons and ghosts. That plan backfired spectacularly. They didn't kill all the demons and ghosts and Daning dynasty's prestige waned. that whole mess made Ning Zhongyu reluctant to commit to a full-blown demon extermination campaign. He figured it was better for everyone to keep their distance, to keep the peace. They even allowed the major powers to cut deals with the demons and ghosts, offering them some living humans as long as they behaved. This went directly against the Demon Suppression Division's mission. Even though Chao Wenjing had repeatedly pressured the local branch in the Daning dynasty, he couldn't stop them from pursuing their missions for rewards, so, there were constant skirmishes between demon suppressors and demons and ghosts, disrupting the whole dynasty. That's where Chao Wenjing and his crew had to step in, clean up the mess, and appease the agitated demons and ghosts. Lu Changjing didn't agree with Ning Zhongyu and Chao Wenjing's approach, especially after learning that they were secretly paying tribute to these demons and ghosts to maintain stability, or tacitly allowing them to abduct humans and keep them as captives. Lu Changjing's respect for them vanished. How was this any different from treason? They talked a big game about the good of the court, but it was all about their self-interest. With the Demon Suppression Division's help, Ning Zhongyu could have kept the demons and ghosts in check with a little effort. Now they've become a major problem in just a few years. Yet, Ning Zhongyu and Chao Wenjing refused to change their ways, constantly sabotaging the Demon Suppression Division's missions. It was infuriating, but Lu Changjing was just trying to survive, so how could he possibly intervene? For now, all he could do was focus on his cultivation, getting stronger as quickly as possible. Once he replaced Ning Zhongyu, he'd be ready to join the Demon Suppression Division and show a completely different approach. He'd heard the Demon Suppression Division was loaded with treasures. By leveraging the resources of the entire Great Ning dynasty to kill a ton of demons and ghosts, he could probably get his hands on some amazing stuff. Ning Zhongyu and Chao Wenjing were idiots. They had such a great opportunity and instead they chose to collude with demons and ghosts. It was a disgrace to the human race. After ranting for a while and sending several blasts of wind at Lu Changjing, Chao Wenjing finally left. As soon as he was gone, Lu Changjing's smile vanished, replaced by a dark scowl. Give him another year, maybe less, and he'd make Chao Wenjing pay. A traitor who groveled to demons and monsters didn't deserve any mercy. He had to keep practicing. He accelerated his qi and blood circulation again, pushing the 5 elements golden body technique to its limit. He downed 5 elements pills one after another, like they were candy, using them to fuel his progress. Tan Qingyun had brought him a huge supply of pills, figuring he wouldn't dare to visit again soon. He had enough pills to last him a while, probably enough to reach the Earth Gate realm. It had been over 10 days since Tan Qingyun's last visit. Normally, she would have been back by now. He wondered if Lin Yisan had caught on to something. With a sigh, Lu Changjing, who had tasted the sweetness of success, forced himself to focus on his practice. Only with enough power could he escape his current predicament. A few evenings later, before Chao Wenjing's usual check-in, another concubine requested an audience. Concubine E wishes to see Your Majesty. That the announcement triggered a mental file on Concubine E. She ranked just below Imperial Noble Concubine Rong Xiao and Noble Concubine Tang Qingyi in the harem hierarchy, on par with Concubine Duan Lin Yisan, Chen Concubine Tan Qingyun, and others. Following Chao Wenjing's instructions, Lu Changjing knew to announce these higher-ranking concubines' visits, to avoid raising suspicions. He'd been given specific instructions on how to deal with each concubine. Thankfully, Ning Zhongyu hadn't had much contact with them before, so he could probably fake it, but someone like Lin Yisan, whom he'd known since childhood, would be harder to fool. So, he planned to avoid her for now. Once he got used to playing emperor and his disguise was seamless, he could spend more time with his old acquaintances. Chapter 19 Your Majesty, Another Bowl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright. Since she's not as formal as the Empress, feel free to be yourself around her. Lu Changjing called for Concubine E, and she arrived quickly with a food carrier. Suddenly, the room seemed brighter. Her skin was creamy white, her face delicate and petite, and her eyes sparkled like stars. Her lips were the color of cherry blossoms, and her long, smooth black hair cascaded down her back. She was like flowing clouds in the morning light. Effortlessly graceful, her hair was styled in an elaborate bun, adorned with jade beads. She wore a pomegranate red brocade robe embroidered with pearl-like stars. She was truly elegant, captivating, graceful, and luxurious. Upon seeing Lu Changjing, Concubine E, Zhou Rulan, smiled brightly. Your Majesty, she greeted, your humble servant is here. Rise, Concubine E. What brings you here? Lu Changjing asked with a smile. Xuanhuan approached Lu Changjing and placed the food carrier on the dragon-carved wooden table. I heard your Majesty has been working tirelessly, so I prepared some 1,000-year-old ginseng soup to nourish you. And since you'll be selecting new consorts in 3 years, you must prepare yourself so that you can father talented princes and princesses. Lu Changjing nearly choked. Starting the tonic so early before the selection was a bit much, but he did like the 1,000-year-old ginseng soup. It was top-shelf stuff, almost a spiritual medicine, which was great for his training. Seeing Lu Changjing's surprise, Xuanhuan smiled and opened the food carrier to serve him a bowl of the ginseng soup. Your Majesty, drink some ginseng soup before reviewing the memorials. Unless, you prefer I feed you. No need, I can manage, Lu Changjing said, glancing at the eunuch outside who was obviously keeping tabs on him. While he might have enjoyed being waited on by such a beautiful woman, he had to play it cool. His enemies were watching. Lu Changjing took the ginseng soup from Xuanhuan and savored it with Ning Zhongyu style. 1,000-year ginseng was a key ingredient for many elixirs and used by powerful cultivators. Ordinary warriors couldn't handle its potent effects, but Lu Changjing had the advantage of his immortal demon body. Sure enough, after drinking a bowl, he only felt a slight warmth. The medicinal power was significant but gentle enough for Lu Changjing to tolerate. He carefully activated the 5 elements. Golden body technique and absorbed the ginseng's energy. He could already feel his qi, blood, and overall cultivation improving. Thanks to the ginseng soup, his internal organs were becoming stronger and more resilient, almost ready for the next level of his training. Seeing that Lu Changjing seemed to enjoy the soup, Xuanhuan smiled and offered him another bowl. Your Majesty, another bowl. Okay. Looking at her slender, jade-like fingers, Lu Changjing accepted the second bowl and quickly drank it down. Food prepared by beautiful women was always delicious, especially when prepared by someone as stunning as her. Xuanhuan's beauty rivaled Rong Xiao and Tang Qingyi, and even surpassed Lin Yisin and Tan Qingyun. At this level of beauty, the differences were subtle, mostly in temperament. Lin Yisin was flirtatious and lively, while Tan Qingyun was innocent and sweet. Xuanhuan was elegant and intelligent. Rong Xiao was radiant, commanding attention wherever she went. Her beauty and presence were unmatched in the harem. Tang Qingyi had an old-world charm and was the epitome of classical beauty, like a painting of a Jiangnan lady come to life. The concubines Lu Changjing had met were all uniquely beautiful. What they shared was their exceptional beauty, each easily scoring 1,000 points. Seeing Lu Changjing finish the second bowl so quickly, Xuanhuan's eyes widened in surprise. Was her ginseng soup that good today? She remembered the last time she made it. The emperor didn't even take a sip and sent it all back. She'd expected him to barely touch it this time, but he was really putting it away. Your Majesty, would you like another bowl? She asked hesitantly. Lu Changjing saw the hopeful look on her face and, remembering the rich medicinal properties of the ginseng, immediately nodded. Okay. Here, then, have another. Xuanhuan filled another bowl, watching him intently, as if afraid he'd explode. It's just ginseng soup. Lu Changjing thought. I can handle it. He quickly finished it, and then felt the energy surge through his body. He couldn't help but burp. Your Majesty, are you all right? Shall I massage your stomach? Xuanhuan's expression changed with concern. She quickly knelt before Lu Changjing and reached out her delicate hand to massage his stomach. Lu Changjing glanced toward the door and quickly grabbed her hand. No, I'll just practice the 5 elements golden body technique for a bit. Concubine E, your ginseng soup is truly delicious. I've never tasted such wonderful ginseng soup. Your Majesty, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll make it for you again sometime, Xuanhuan said with a smile, allowing Lu Changjing to help her up. Your Majesty, are you sure you don't want a massage? That if the imperial study door was closed and locked, Lu Changjing would definitely want a massage, but not under these circumstances, so, he smiled and waved his hand. No, it's just a few bowls of ginseng soup. I can digest it. After seeing the intelligent and alluring concubine E out, Lu Changjing immediately went to his meditation room and began practicing the 5 elements boxing to absorb the surge of energy in his body. He had gotten greedy for the ginseng's power and drank 3 bowls straight. Even Lu Changjing's physique was struggling. After all, this was a delicacy reserved for powerful cultivators, and strong ones at that, far beyond the flesh and blood of ordinary beasts. Although the energy was relatively mild, it added up. Simply using the 5 elements golden body technique wouldn't be enough to process it all. He needed to combine it with boxing. Begin. Tiger Thunder Roar. Leopard Thunder Roar. The tiger and leopard roars echoed through his body, working at an astonishing rate to digest the ginseng soup's energy. At the same time, the energy tempered his internal organs and strengthened his qi and blood, working many times faster than taking the 5 elements pill. If Lu Changjing didn't have such an amazing physique, he might not have been able to withstand such rapid improvement, but since he could, the benefits were enormous. It took him from evening to early morning to completely digest the energy from the 3 bowls of ginseng soup, without even a moment's rest. P.S. Please collect and read. Thank you all. If you support the book, could you please read the new chapters, even just once a day, so the newbies can get some love? Chapter 20, Martial Arts Enters the Marrow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ugh. It took him several minutes to complete a single breath, a testament to how deep and drawn out his breathing had become. This was a clear sign his internal organ training was a resounding success, nearly perfect. The impact of those 3 bowls of 1,000-year-old ginseng soup was astonishing, far exceeding his expectations. Even he hadn't anticipated such significant benefits, effectively saving him months of practice. Concubine Zhou Rulan is a real gem. I wonder when she'll be sending over more ginseng soup. He'd initially considered saving the leftover soup, but worried Xuanhuan might become suspicious. He abandoned the idea. If he'd known the ginseng soup was this potent, he would have downed another bowl. He might have even perfected his internal organ training then and there, but recalling his physical state earlier, he was already pushing his limits. Any more, and he might have made a fool of himself. Oh well, next time. Thankfully, Xuanhuan hadn't returned during all this. Who knows what he's been busy with? Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to fully absorb the soup's medicinal properties. After a brief rest, Lu Changjing went out to tackle the day's memorials. With his current physique, he could go days without rest, so he felt no fatigue. After reading for about an hour, Xuanhuan arrived. Even from a distance, he sensed Lu Changjing's heightened energy. Slap. You think you can mess around with Concubine? You got a death wish. That this was a fallout from yesterday's incident. Lu Changjing quickly explained. Didn't you tell me to interact with the concubines and ministers regularly? I figured Concubine wasn't in the emperor's favor, so meeting with her wouldn't raise suspicion. I didn't expect her to bring 1,000-year-old ginseng soup. It tasted so good, I drank more than I should have. Please forgive me, Lord Cao. You didn't touch Concubine, did you? Xuanhuan's anger subsided slightly as he scrutinized him. Lu Changjing shook his head. How could I? I didn't lay a finger on her. The Imperial Studies door was open, everyone outside could see. Good. Xuanhuan relented. You did well this time. In the future, don't turn away similar opportunities. It will only fuel suspicion. And regarding those ministers, we'll have some visit you later. Make sure you handle them well. No slip-ups. Don't worry, Lord Cao. My life depends on this. I wouldn't dare be careless. Lu Changjing forced a bitter smile. Xuanhuan pondered for a moment, then nodded and began briefing him on court affairs, both internal and external. To better prepare him, Lu Changjing interjected with well-placed questions, seemingly to better embody the emperor, but in reality, he was laying the groundwork for his future coup. Are the kings, princes, generals and ministers all not of the same race? Why can Ning Zhongyu do it, but he can't? As soon as Xuanhuan left, Lu Changjing refocused the bulk of his energy on cultivation and improvement, relegating everything else to the sidelines. It only took him a little over 3 days to perfect his internal organs. He seized the opportunity to slip into the secluded training room that night and begin his assault on the Marrow training realm. the bottleneck guarding the Marrow training realm barely lasted an hour against the onslaught of his potent 5 elements qi and blood. Lu Changjing shattered it through sheer force, the surging qi and blood flooded his bone marrow, beginning to temper every last particle. This stage is where martial arts truly sinks into your bones, becoming instinctual. For martial artists who break into the Marrow training realm, the effectiveness of practicing combat skills and secret techniques skyrockets, multiplying by several times compared to before. They can master various combat skills with ease. This is what makes the Marrow training realm so unique. It's like a massive boost to one's martial arts talent and potential. The next realm, blood exchange, promises to purify the marrow and transform the body, directly enhancing talent and potential. The stronger the foundation, the greater the enhancement. Given Lu Changjing's physique, which is already over 70 times stronger than an average martial artist at the same level, the potential gains were unimaginable. Among the 3 stages of physical training, qi training, and soul training, the blood exchange realm is the only chance to enhance talent, but most martial artists fail to fully capitalize on this opportunity, resulting in limited talent growth. He wondered how much his talent would improve upon entering the blood exchange realm. With a faint smile and a hint of anticipation, Lu Changjing began consolidating and stabilizing his current cultivation. 2nd level of internal training, 8th level warrior, achieved. It had only been 2 months since he transmigrated, and he had already gone from a powerless mortal to an 8th level warrior. Not a bad pace at all. The immortal demon body had granted him 60 points of physical fitness, while martial arts training added approximately 12 more. As a result, Lu Changjing's physical fitness was astounding, more than 72 times that of an ordinary person. This meant he had 72 times the defense and dozens of times the endurance of a normal person. Of course, it also meant significant gains in strength, speed, reaction time, and heightened senses. In terms of brute strength alone, he could now lift 1,500 kilograms. An average Marrow training warrior can only lift 1,000 kilograms, giving Lu Changjing a 500 kilogram advantage, and as his physique continues to grow, this gap will only widen. However, Lu Changjing's greatest strengths lay in defense and endurance, which were already approaching those of a master. Body training masters were the strongest among masters, capable of dominating opponents at the same level and often crossing realms to fight enemies. Once his physique reached that level, Lu Changjing's strength would be comparable to Ning Zhongyu's. Xuanhuan's strength was only 10 times greater than Ning Zhongyu's. Once he reached the master level, his training would accelerate exponentially. Before long, he would possess the strength to suppress Xuanhuan. With a faint smile, Lu Changjing continued to train until Tan Qingyun's silvery voice rang out. "Your Majesty, they're here." Lu Changjing's eyes lit up, and he immediately abandoned his 5 elements golden body technique practice. He turned towards the source of the voice. He saw a pair of eyes as bright as stars, slightly upturned at the corners, like the warm and radiant morning sun. Her delicate nose was slender and even, adding a touch of nobility and arrogance to her face, but still unable to conceal her innocence. Her red lips were tightly closed. With a subtle, irrepressible smile, in her hand, she carried a small food box. He didn't know what was inside, but Lu Changjing was already accustomed to the little concubine's habit of bringing snacks. These snacks also brought a unique and welcome diversion. Adding to the joy in the boudoir, he strode forward, swept Tan Qingyun into his arms, and headed towards the secluded training room in the back.